Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2017 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers who may be with us for the first time. As always, thank you for following my YouTube channel, for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and all your support, feedback, and comments. It's always very welcome and much appreciated. Keep it up, and thank you so much. And also always a big thank you to those of you who keep me so occupied and busy with personal one-on-one readings, both new clients and regular ones as well. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you, and I'm grateful to be able to do so. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, or you have and you've forgotten the information, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About button, and that'll give you a little more information and detail on what I do, the services I offer. I do a wide variety of readings, and I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So turnaround time for personal readings, live or recorded, is pretty quick. I can usually get back to you within a day, the same day of initial contact, and scheduling a reading can be as quick as a few days or upwards of 3 weeks, but almost always between a 1 and 3 week period of time we can schedule a reading for you live or recorded. My contact information is under that About button as well. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. Or you can also find me under the smartphone app Instant Go under Irish Gypsy. That's more for if you have, and that's for same-day answers or quick answers. It's for if you have, 1 or 2 quick questions. You have a decision you need to make really fast. It's not too complex or deep in issue. You're just looking for a simple, short read. You can find me on the smartphone app Instant Go under Irish Gypsy. I posted a video about that a week ago. You'll see that on my homepage, and my profile for that is also under the About button. You can click on it and it'll take you right to where I'm at. So that's good for short, same day, 1 or 2 question reads or chat readings that are not too deep or complex. But for the traditional in-depth readings or specific spreads, email me and we'll set something up for you based on what you want and what your needs are. So moving right along into this, make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well. We always advise you do that because it's a general reading. There's so many of you watching. Of course, they're not going to mean the same thing in the same area of your life to the same degree and intensity for everybody watching. That would be impossible. Some of you, it might be in love and romance. Some of you, it might be in other types of relationships. Sometimes the reading might resonate for you in work, career, and finances or spirituality. If you know and can watch your rising and your moon sign, they may play out a little more predictably or resonate a little bit more for you. And watching all 3 just gives you as comprehensive a picture as possible into what's going on in your life with the time frame that the reading covers. So let's move on into this reading. I know some of you complain about the longer intros. Just fast forward to where I start holding up the cards, which is almost now. So this reading is for the water sign of Pisces for November 2017. Let us see what is in store for our lovely mercurial fluid Pisces, the water sign of Pisces, the fish, for November 2017. Okay, Pisces. We begin with the 8 of Pentacles, followed by the 2 of Pentacles, the Sun, followed by the 6 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, followed by the 8 of Wands, and the 4 of Swords, followed by the 4 of Pentacles. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance is the 10 of Cups. Even considering I find 99% of all the readings I do interesting, this one is more interesting. I can't wait to see feedback on what this refers to. It's almost a reading that advises you being sort of sneaky or off the grid in some ways. Not in a negative, harmful way. But it looks like a month where you're being advised to seize a chance to get ahead, as long as, of course, it doesn't breach your own sense of honor, integrity, and ethics. Something that you've been working towards and hard at for quite some time, which is what the first 2 cards represent. We have the 8 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy. That's the element which governs the suit. So it usually manifests in the earthly, tangible, day-to-day concrete life that we live in. Often it's money, finances, property, resources, assets, etc. or tangible results, hard work that we put into something. The Eight of Pentacles is a card about work and can represent a lot of work, working hard, maybe burning the candle at both ends, getting up early, staying up late, working overtime, being very busy, but it's repetitive work. But it's because you have a goal that you care about. You care about what you're doing, you care about what you're building up. We're already at the 8 here, 10's representing completion. He's hard at work on the 8th pentacle, having already created and stored the other 7. So it's a card about working hard for foundations. Could be working quite a bit, but being very successful at it. You're building up a foundation of something. You're working towards something. And that's echoed by its accompanying card, which is the 2 of Pentacles, which is a card about juggling. It can represent, having your fingers in a multitude of pies. And again, it taking a lot of work, effort, concentration to keep both of these pentacles in the air, but doing it successfully as well. Again, it requires a high degree of focus, attention, and concentration. And it can also represent successful results, which comes from doing something with unorthodox means or in an unorthodox or off the grid kind of way, which is interesting because that energy is carried out a little later in the reading. So I'm doing these at the end of October. So it looks like ending October, beginning of November, something you're working at. It could be a project, a business, something on your job, something on the career path, the work front. You can translate the same energy to relationships as well, but I'm feeling it more quite strongly in maybe work, job, career. You may be working for on a project at work, even towards a promotion. There's in some ways, maybe for some of you, a sense of leaving, and it could be taking something with you, almost like leaving a company and taking a client base with you. So next to that, we have your hard work is paying off, definitely. Next to that, we have the Sun, followed by the 6 of Wands, which it almost looks like you're spending a lot of time working really hard. This energy, combined energy, lovely, bright energy, could represent reaching a stage of accomplishment, completion, achievement, recognition for your work. Maybe you're getting some awards, public recognition, even going on vacation. I mean, the Sun is one of the best cards, if not the best card in the tarot. When the Sun comes out, it shines over everything. Life, love, warmth, laughter. It represents an uplifting of energy, restrictive energies being loosened, finances, which previously may have been tight, kind of loosening up a bit. Fun, social times, clarity, illumination, clarification too. It can boost the positive energy of surrounding cards in a spread, and it can also lessen and sometimes negate any challenging energy as well. And it's a beautiful, lovely, bright energy, very, very positive. Again, one of the most positive cards in the deck. It kind of banishes the darkness, sickness, emotional distress. It automatically uplifts everything. It's like take a deep breath kind of energy. And it's paired with the 6 of Wands, which is a card, it's fire, which is the element which governs wands, exciting energy. And this is a card of success and triumph after a struggle or after an achievement of some kind. It can also be a card of public recognition, as this man is riding back into town full of his triumph and success, and he's being recognized, noticed, publicly applauded, and acclaimed for it as well. So again, something that you've been working hard at, something that you've been working long at successfully. It could be that it's come to a successful conclusion. You could be receiving public recognition, award, a promotion, a bonus, something like that. It could be that you've been working long and hard and you're retiring, and this is kind of retirement energy. You're being celebrated for something, but there is an element of secrecy, of working off the grid about it. There may be elements of it that you're keeping to yourself, or plans that you're keeping to yourself, or not telling other people, which is really interesting. It's almost like there's all this wonderful stuff going on, which is real, but then there's this undercurrent of having other plans or secondary plans, or, you know, what happens afterwards that you're not telling people. Or perhaps you're being advised not to tell people, but the energy is still quite positive. Your overall energy being the 10 of Cups, the happily ever after happy home card. You may be deciding to leave to retire, to make some transition, major transition, you're not. And even though you're being, you're being very visually and publicly successful at what you've been doing, you're not telling people about this transition or this leaving or this next big thing. You're keeping that to yourself until you absolutely have to. Which is interesting. Again, can't wait to see what the feedback is on this. And again, you can apply the same energy to relationships, although I'm not feeling that. It's just not what I'm receiving. Because I feel like it's manifesting more in the earth energy, projects, work, career. But like I said, regardless of, there's so many of you watching it, it may resonate in one area of your life for some of you and another for others of you, especially if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Regardless of how the specifics play out in your lives, for those of you who are watching, the energy fundamentally remains the same. So next to that, around the middle of the month, third week or so, time being somewhat fluid, we have the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Wands. So the Seven of Swords is sometimes, this is air energy, that's the element which governs the Suit of Swords. It's all about what goes on up in here, thoughts, ideas, words, belief systems, how it affects the way that we perceive the world and communicate. Truth, education, higher learning as well. So it's a mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. The Seven of Swords is sometimes referred to as the Thief card. And even under that, the Thief card, that he may get a bad rap because it can also represent, sometimes we need to operate under secrecy or operate off the grid or perhaps operate in an unorthodox way in order to accomplish something, in order to get what we need, in order to move ahead, maybe being secretive. I mean, one of the primary things that's important to remember with the Seven of Swords, particularly in the artwork of how it's displayed in a lot of tarot, it may look like he's sneaking off with something, but he's never sneaking off with everything. This can be a card of taking a chance to get ahead, taking a chance to make a major move, which is good for you, maybe breaking off from the pack and doing your own thing, going your own way, and being kind of secretive or playing your cards very close to the chest, which is not always necessarily a negative or harmful thing to other people. It's just looking out for your own self and your own best interests. Now, it's paired with the Eight of Wands, which is a card of communication, news, messages, powerful, going back and forth. And again, paired with the Seven of Swords, it's like you're keeping something under wraps. It's like on one hand, you're working hard, you're working successfully, you may be doing it in an unorthodox way, or you may just be getting public recognition, kudos of some kind for it. Other people may be noticing it, but you have other plans going on behind the scenes that you're withholding, maybe you're not talking about. You may have an opportunity which comes as a result of this success to kind of take advantage of that and achieve something for yourself, break away from the pack or achieve your own personal recognition, kind of looking out for your own best interest, being very self-oriented towards that. And maybe not talking about it so much or using information that you receive to kind of move ahead. Again, I don't feel like it's negative or harmful, like you're doing it at the expense of other people or anything like that. It's really, really interesting. We'll have to see how this plays out for those of you throughout the course of November, for those of you for whom this resonates, because I know there's people out there who are going to be like, I know exactly what she's talking about because it's this, and I can't wait to hear about what that is. You know how I love the feedback. So at or towards the end of November 2017, we have the energy of the Four of Swords, followed by the Four of Pentacles. So it's almost as if this wonderful process and this, because I think it is pretty cool and absorbing and exciting process, but I feel like it really does take quite a bit out of you. It's requiring a lot of effort, a lot of attention, a lot of detail. You're pulling things together. You're also perhaps maybe withholding some stuff or keeping some plans undercover in some way. The Four of Swords at the end of the month, it's a card of rest, respite, restoration. It can be a card of feeling kind of drained, worn out, tired, exhausted, and needing to withdraw even temporarily from conflict or from challenge or struggle from work because you're tired. You need to take a break, perhaps even go within and seek out some insight, guidance, advice, or just, take a step back and kind of rest, recuperate, re-energize. And it's paired with the Four of Pentacles, which is a card that represents holding on. Sometimes it can represent holding on too tightly because you've lost in the past and you're afraid of losing what you have left or losing again. Sometimes it can be looked at as the miser card, being very economical or cheap, with money, or needing to be careful about your finances. It's a 4, which can represent, depending on what's in the reading and what's your intuition or your channeling, what your guides are telling you. It can be a card of stability or stagnation, as the number 4 can be. It's like at the end of the month, you're just like, oh, okay, all this has been going on and now I need to take a break. I feel like this continues into December, that it isn't the end, that there's still something left to play out, and you're just taking kind of a break because you need to at the end of the month. Holding on, still kind of keeping things very close to your chest, because visually that's exactly what he's doing as well. So it may be that whatever is being kept, whatever plans or actions or choices, decisions are being kept kind of undercover. Some of you may still be doing that by the end of November, and it may continue to play out into December a bit. But what you're doing it for is for your own benefit. But again, I don't feel like you're stepping on anybody, so to speak, in a negative way. I'm really not getting that. And because it's about you and home and family, it's about things coming full circle and taking the chance to put yourself and potentially family, if you have family, in a place where you feel finally things have come together. All the hard work is finally paying off, because your overall energy and crowning card, guidance and advice, is the 10 of Cups. Cups is water energy. In the suit of tarot, the energy of this reflects in that watery mercurial area of our life that deals with feelings, emotions, relationships. 10s represent cycles ending, culmination, coming full circle. So the 10 of Cups is sometimes referred to as the happy home card, the happily ever after card. There's a strong sense of family, happiness, home harmony, marriage, blessings, children, peaceful home, harmonious home. It's, that right off into sunset kind of energy. Really, realistically, just being at a place in your life emotionally, and particularly in connection to home and family, if that applies to you, where you feel like everything's finally come together. You're at the 10 here. All the hard work's paid off. Everything's finally coming together. Something is culminating. You may be wrapping something up. Again, it could be retirement plans that you're keeping kind of mum, making the last house payment. I mean, the specifics are going to vary, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. You're taking some kind of opportunity and maybe being quite hush-hush and secretive about it, to pull yourself ahead, to put yourself in this position, and perhaps you and your family, perhaps it's even in relation to a property matter. Again, could be a variety of different things, but the cards and the energy are so kind of layered. So it's really interesting. For those of you for whom this makes sense, please, if you don't feel like leaving public comments because of some of the energy of this reading, on the channel itself in the feedback or comment section, please feel free to email me, privately and let me know if you're comfortable doing that, because I'm intensely curious about how this is actually resonating for those of you who are going to go, yep, I know exactly what she's talking about. So very interesting. But such a very positive feeling, and you can't do too much better than this is your overall energy. That happy home, blessed home, finally things coming together, things ending and transitioning into another natural state, a natural beginning. It's lovely overall energy to have. So whatever you're doing is working for you and is paying off. So Pisces, that pretty much sums up your November 2017 reading. Thank you for watching it. I hope that you enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful and useful in some way. Again, if any of you are interested in any personal one-on-one reading with me, just go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that About button for more information and my contact information. You can email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. And for quicker, more instant, quick questions, really short, same-day reads, you can also find me on the the smartphone app Instant Go, which is also under the About button. There's a link that'll click. It'll take you right to my profile, and there's a video which kind of describes on my homepage how that actually works. It's just for 1 or 2 quick questions. If you have a quick decision to make, kind of puts me at your fingertips. It's not the same as the deeper, complex readings or specific spreads, so it really depends on what you want. But all that information is there, so please feel free. I would be most happy to work with you on whatever it is you need as quickly as possible. So Pisces, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2017 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish each and every one of you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.